Here's my part 2, I guess, video on intelligent battery sensor. Hey everyone, today I'm doing the IBS sensor video again, part 2 I guess. This is the trunk area of my E90 328. The battery is located in the trunk on the right side. There is a cover, or well, basically like a tray that locks and covers the battery. You remove that and you gain the access to the battery. IBS in BMW's universe stands for Intelligent Battery Sensor, and it's something like this. This is basically a negative battery terminal cable, I guess. So this part connects to the battery's terminal. This connects to the chassis of your car. It's hidden under this plastic cover, so to gain access to this nut, the stud with the nut that holds this in place, you have to remove this plastic right here, and then you have to just pull this away like so. The stud with the nut is under here, right there, so you don't have to remove this trim. I think the nut is 13 millimeters. So the next thing that you may notice is that this is not just a regular negative battery cable. There is a plastic box and there is a small connector, a small 3-pin connector on it. So this is the sensor itself. Basically this is the device that identifies a number of things related to your battery's function, and it basically affects the way the battery gets charged and so on. I'm not going to go into those details, but I'm just going to mention that this is an important device to your car. Defects or malfunction in IBS can cause a number of different conditions, including a no start condition of your car. In today's video I wanted to add a little bit more, I guess, to this, because I still have a problem with the IBS. I still have something not working right. So I got another part. I bought something used again, and I bought this for a reason. First of all, I wanted to save a little bit, because the next step would be to buy this from a place that has a warranty, and if there's something that makes these go bad, which is a possibility in the system or in the car system or whatever. Partially I wanted to buy something used because I just wanted to add a little bit more to the knowledge of this system. And this used item came with a few things. The part of the cable harness that I had here that I cut off to install the first used sensor that I got I tossed it, I threw it away, and that was a mistake. I should have kept it, or at least I couldn't find it. The part that came with that first used, the sensor that I was talking about in the part 1 of this, so I basically just cut these wires and I soldered them back. And I assumed that the gray wire goes to the gray wire in the harness and the other one goes to the other one. And I wasn't 100% sure if that was the case, because that was a guess. And at this point I don't know if, honestly I don't know what is going on really with my car. In any case, this second used part came with a couple of cables, and it's a good thing because I can show these things, so you actually may have an idea what it takes or involves exactly to do the upgrade or swap or change of the sensor. But it didn't go all that smooth and without hiccups, because what came in, I'm not 100% sure. I guess there are different versions of these cables that are factory cables. I guess they allow to plug in different IBS sensors, because like I was saying in that first video, there are 2 types of connectors on the sensors. One is like a single connector with 3 pins, and the other one is where is the other one? And the other one would be like this. It's a single connector, but it's split into 2 halves, 2 pins and 1 pin. And that's where the trouble, I guess, start to take place, because on my car, and I guess on many other cars, this is what's on the car from the factory. What plugs here is something like that. So this just plugs into here, something like that. So that just plugs in, but this connector would actually be located on the car's harness. Long story short, this then came with the cable, with a connector, and with a piece of a wire, well actually two wires that were cut on the back side, and that's what I needed because those wires, they match colors exactly to what's on the harness, so that kind of removes the doubts from this part. So I resoldered those, and now I have a blue connector here, right there, and then this harness is plugged into that connector. Now this is the plus that plugs into the battery, and on my or on your car, or my original harness on my car was, it was supposed to be a connector that plugged into this, into the original IBS, but this one is actually the one that plugs into this sensor, which is what you usually buy when you buy a replacement. So this plugs here like so. Again, I guess to just reiterate this, your car is going to have this IBS type of a sensor with this kind of a connector, and your car's harness is going to plug in here. So when you buy your replacement, at least that's what everyone says, when you buy the replacement it's going to have a different connector, and basically your car's harness is not going to plug into it. At that point I mentioned that you may either cut the wires and solder them, or you may buy this jumper cable or adapter. All this is being sold on many websites that sell BMW parts, FCP, that I can mention, ECS tuning and so on, Turner Motorsport and such. So basically this is what the adapter or a jumper cable is when they say that you have to buy an adapter cable or a jumper cable or a jumper harness, adapter harness. That's what it is, and it can be up to $40 if it's an OEM part. And it's nothing but two plugs, two connectors, and three wires. That's all that there is to it. There's nothing magical about it. All the magic is happening inside of this device. In any case, what I can do now, so I can plug, since this is all good here, there's a plug. So I guess at this point I can unplug this. Yeah, this is really weird and bizarre. I need to review this again and look at the website and see what's what, because it's actually, the situation is sort of a reverse situation, because if I bought this harness I wouldn't be able to plug it into my original. I guess, well, so I guess it sounds like I'm a little bit confused, and I am slightly, because this is a little bit weird. But the bottom line is, this is the jumper cable or adapter, and that's what you use to bridge basically whatever you have on your car to whatever sensor that you buy. And like I said, in a normal situation you would have all this on your car plugged in, and then you would take this harness, you would plug it here, and then you would plug this adapter basically into your existing IBS, and everything should work. Now in this case, this thing for some reason can plug directly into this new sensor, and there's no adapter or anything needed. This is really weird. The bottom line is, I have this plugged in, I have this plugged in. So what I can do at this point, I can actually take, since I'm kind of suspecting that this thing is not really working, I'm just going to take this adapter, plug it here. I'm going to plug it into my old sensor, and I'm just going to install my old sensor, because like I was trying to explain originally in the original video, I think what happened was that this red plus cable on this connector just snapped off or separated. So my original sensor was probably okay, but it didn't have plus coming to it. So yeah, that would definitely render my sensor inoperable. At this point I can actually, what I can do, this used sensor, it's exactly the same as what I have on my car. So I can actually take this one, unplug my old cable sensor, plug this one in and test it. And if I remove this jumper cable, I can actually test this one that I'm kind of thinking is not really working at this point. And or I can buy a replacement, a brand new replacement with a warranty, and I can plug that directly into this harness, and then I wouldn't need this jumper cable. So I guess that's a lot of words, a bit confusing video I guess, but the bottom line is, I guess let's summarize this. Your car, if you have a problem with the IBS, you have something like this on your car. This big blue connector plugs into the battery block, terminal block, and this connector plugs into your sensor. So if you buy a replacement, the replacement, that's what I'm assuming, is going to come in with a different type of a connector. And like I said, that's usually, according to everyone, is the case. So then you buy this jumper cable or adapter, you plug this into your existing harness that is on your car, and then the other end of the adapter plugs into your new sensor. That's the way it is. Well, if you have this on your car, which kinda, yeah, I'm a little bit confused, but if you have something like this on your car installed already, then you can just buy the replacement and just plug it in directly. I guess that's pretty much all that I wanted to explain in today's video. I'm thinking about plugging my old sensor back in and see if that fixes the situation, because if there is something wrong further upstream, then that can be more trouble, but we shall see. So I'm going to install this. I will have to plug this in. Reattach this and be done. I'm going to run ISTA and see what I have check engine codes wise, because I don't think the IBS lights up the check engine light. I haven't seen it, but I've seen the code itself. I guess that's pretty much it for this part.